As you pull into Watonga, Oklahoma, it's clear this place has fallen on hard times. It looks like the rapture happened. Defunct businesses line the highway. Main Street is filled with stately brick buildings, which are mostly empty. Even on a weekday afternoon, the city center feels like the residents had to clear out due to an advancing army. Of course, this is a familiar sight across much of Middle America, so I wasn't surprised as I walked around. Then, I looked at the census numbers, and I was shocked. From 2010 to 2020, the town lost more than half its population, going from 5,111 people to about 2,700. In fact, Watonga declined faster than any town in Oklahoma during that time. At first glance, it feels impossible. Towns shrink gradually. Downtowns close one storefront at a time. But Watonga's numbers collapsed all at once, and most of that difference comes down to one place. Just outside town sits the Diamondback Correctional Facility, a for-profit prison with space for more than 2,000 people. Pretty much the entire town could live in the jail. When the prison closed in 2010, more than 300 people lost their jobs, and thousands of people disappeared from the census in just a few years. And even though the inmates weren't part of Watonga's daily life, they weren't exactly shopping on Main Street or sending their kids to school, they were an important part of the community in a strange, rather dystopian way. The prison provided recession-proof jobs, tax revenue, government investment, and income from utilities. When those inmates vanished, the prison's closure left a void. Still, Watonga didn't disappear. There are people who stayed, of course. A hardware store is still open on Main Street in one of those grand historic buildings. A few shops are holding on, and this being Oklahoma, there are multiple dispensaries in town because Okies need their ganja. Now, Watonga may be on the verge of another rapid change for the exact same reason it declined. The Diamondback facility is preparing to reopen, this time housing inmates for ICE. Around 400 jobs are expected to return, starting at $29 an hour. For a town this size, that's not an abstract number. It's paychecks, stability, tax revenue, people moving in, property values going up, and an influx of federal cash. A reason for some businesses to reopen, or at least hold on a little longer. But it's complicated. Watonga is one of the more diverse small towns in Oklahoma, with above-average Indian and Latino populations. The town itself is named after a Native American chief. And that raises a couple of questions. First, what happens to the fabric of a diverse town when its main employer is an ICE-contracted prison? Second, what happens to Watonga if the prison closes again? After all, politics change, public opinion shifts, and federal funding doesn't last forever. For a town like Watonga, that uncertainty isn't abstract, it's existential. But Watonga has potential beyond prisons. Just a few miles away is Roman Nose State Park. Rugged red hills, clear water, trails, fishing, boating, and an 18-hole golf course carved into the landscape. It's close enough to Oklahoma City to be a weekend escape, close enough to imagine a different future. Watonga sits on a major highway, and the towering grain elevators, empty warehouses, grand buildings on Main Street, and stately courthouse all speak to its potential. Watonga didn't slowly fade away, it shrank by half in just a few years, and now it's waiting to see what comes back and how long it stays.